So, you're sitting there, listening to your favorite artist and your favorite album by them. Chances are, the music on that album has been instrumentally layered and stacked on top of each other. Chances are also that there might be a guitar on the album somewhere. When I was a kid, I wanted nothing more than to play the guitar and learn how to be the best at it. I never thought about the music and how it was layered on top of each other, or really how anything was built. But I knew what kind of guitar I wanted, and that was electric guitar made by Les Paul. As an audio production major here at MTSU and an active guitar player and musician, I can't do what I do without recognizing the work of Les Paul. Today, I'm going to tell you about Les Paul's career as a musician, an engineer, and as a guitar luthier. Let's start with his career as a musician. There are many aspects of his career, but there's two notable points that I need to tell you about today. That's the Les Paul Trio and his duo with Mary Ford. His trio was formed in 1937, consisted of him, Jim Atkins, who's the brother of Chet Atkins, and then Ernie Newton. The trio moved from Chicago to New York and started playing with Fred Waring's Pennsylvania radio show. The trio also appeared on Bing Crosby's radio show later that year. According to Les Paul's Medal of Arts biography by Arts.gov, Paul had met Crosby in the same year that he was performing on Waring's show. The other aspect of his musical career is his duo with Mary Ford. From the years of 1950 to 1957, they both had recorded about 28 hits for Capitol Records, including How High the Moon, Bye Bye Blues, and Vaya con Dios. These two cared for each other very much. Les Paul talks about Mary Ford after an automobile accident, as he writes in his autobiography, that this was a very frustrating time, and time for recuperation, and she took care of me like an angel. I don't know what I would have done without her, says Les. It really shows how close they were until the divorce in 1964, which ended their musical career together. Working with people like Mary Ford and other people have really influenced Les and really helped him progress as an engineer. He introduced something that's very prevalent today in actual recording. Gibson.com states that Bing Crosby was one of Les Paul's biggest inspirations, as he gave him things like an Ampex recording device, that he later took the idea and equipment like the Cell-Sync to multi-track 8 different recording tracks and stack them on top of each other so that you can hear every track at once. This is something that no one had really done at the time. This is defined by multitrackstudio.com as sound ensemble recording, which states that recording that lets you record without erasing existing parts. So say if I wanted to record a melody, a guitar part, and also another harmony on top of it, I can do all of that without without deleting another part before it, but everything coming together as one. But there's even more to Les Paul's career that I need to talk about. That's his career as a luthier or guitar builder. As a young boy, Les Paul wanted to be heard in his venues and bars with his electric guitar, or with his acoustic guitar. But sadly at this point he couldn't really do it. There's too much noise around there, and there's nothing to amplify his guitar. So what he did is he took a needle of a phonograph, and he stuck it on his guitar strings, and he played it through a radio speaker, very similar to how a record player would work. In an episode of American Masters about him called Chasing Sound, Les Paul explained how this process went. He said it was simple. It was simple. It plays the phonograph record, so it should play the guitar, right? He was absolutely right about it. This later invention had progressed him to invent something called the lock. This guitar was formed by Les in the Epiphone studio after hours. It consists of 2 4x4 pieces of solid wood and 2 electronic pickups that translated the sound of the guitar. This original is actually still held right down the road in Nashville, Tennessee, and it's held in the Country Music Hall of Fame. According to an article by Chris Keys for Premier Guitar, some people are upset by this amazing artifact being placed right next to other guitars that are made by a competing guitar builder at the time, Leo Fender. This original idea was also formed into the Gibson Les Paul model, of which you might hear about or see today. In conclusion, you now know that Les Paul has affected many people and musicians, including myself. As an audio engineer and a performing musician, I hope that I can gain a fraction of the knowledge that Les Paul gave throughout his 94 years of living. Even if you aren't a musician or an engineer, I hope that my passion for this can show you really his influence on everything involved in music today. Thank you.